Hello and a very good evening to you. You're very welcome to this Kerry College Information webinar in the middle of what is a very busy month for our college and for our learners as well. My name is John Herlihy. This evening we're joined by a number of our colleagues from the various campuses across County Kerry, each of our 5 campuses. So you'll hear from our colleagues shortly, but you'll also hear from graduates and how they've benefited from the Kerry College experience. Last year we had 4,000 or so full-time and part-time learners and apprentices through our doors at Kerry College, most of them virtually, despite the pandemic, of course, or due to the pandemic, but we got as many as we could on campus as well. This year, we're in the middle of a very busy registration week on our Clash Road, Denny Street and Listowel campuses, and we're welcoming many new faces back to our campus locations, but don't worry, there is still time to apply and there's still time to start on a Kerry College course. In fact, we have courses starting all year round, but we still have places remaining on our courses that start this month in September. First, Kerry College is Ireland's first and only integrated college of FET, our further education and training. And tonight you'll hear about what we do here across the various campuses and how indeed this can be life-changing. So I'll give you just a little overview, first of all, of what we have in store for you tonight, just on a very quick slide here. We will be chatting with Stephen Goulding in a couple of minutes' time. Stephen is the principal of the Clash Road, Denny Street and Listowel campuses. Our member of our teaching staff at Clash Road, Joanne Roche, is going to give us an overview of the Clash Road and Denny Street campuses. We'll hear from Aisling O'Neill, who's a graduate of Kerry College, who studied applied science. Elaine O'Connor, deputy principal of Listowel campus, will be here after that to give us an overview of the courses in Listowel. We'll hear a little bit from Paudie Walsh. Paudie was an IT support technician graduate. He's a very interesting story, really nice chap, and we'll be hearing from him at about 7:20. Then Ioseph Nestor, who's our assistant manager at the Monavalley campus, will be giving us an overview of all that's happening at Monavalley. Lots of new things to talk about there as well, and also a little bit about our new campus, our newest edition, the Killorglin campus. And then finally, our final learner story tonight and graduate story will be Danielle Kelleher, who was a returner, a person who came back to education after a long time out and studied childcare, and we'll hear a little bit about her story as well. After that, it's our admissions officer, Niamh Donovan, who will talk a little bit about fees and funding and how to apply for courses, and as we keep telling you, there's still time. And then Anne Doyle from our guidance team. Anne is a guidance professional, and she'll talk to you a little bit about making your choice and the sort of things you should be considering at this time. And following that, then we'll wrap the session. We'll wrap it hopefully within the hour, and we'll tell you a little bit about how you can book one-to-one sessions with our team who are standing by to do this tomorrow across our various campuses. But first up, I'll hand you over now to Stephen Goulding. Stephen is our principal at our Clash Road, Denny Street and Listowel campus.
Thanks, John. I'd just like to welcome everybody here this evening to our webinar. As John said, we are in the middle of a very busy week of registrations, and I suppose tonight is an opportunity for those who haven't decided yet or made their choices in relation to further education and training, so you get a full idea of the 180 courses that we run across all our campuses. In Clash, Denny Street and Listowel, we predominantly focus on courses for employment and courses for progression. And I hope any questions you have, even after the presentation, in subsequent days, that you contact our admissions team, and get the information you need for the choices you want to make for your future career. So thanks, everybody, and I'll pass it back to John.
Thanks very much, Stephen, for that. I suppose first now we'll head to Joanne Roche. Joanne is from our Clash Road campus for an overview of the courses on offer at Clash and a little bit more about information about the campus itself. So, Joanne.
Yeah, thank you, John. We have a presentation with slides, so yeah, we're just going to start sharing that. So I'll just talk a little bit about the Clash campus first, and then the Denny Street campus of Kerry College. Just to say about the Clash campus, it's located in Tralee Town, or in Tralee. It's on the Clash Road between Closhie Glownlee Post-Primary School and the Tralee MTU South campus. It's a very busy, vibrant campus. It has a significant number of courses on offer. So, it is quite a big campus for Kerry College. Just to point out at this stage that the courses that are highlighted on the presentation slides are the ones with places currently still available, and they're open for new applications. Saying that, if your interest is in a course that is full at the moment, we still recommend you to apply. Courses do re-emerge, so we would advise you to get in touch and we can have a conversation with you. It may be that a place comes up on the reserve list, or that there might be a similar course that we can talk about. Okay, so I'm just going to run through the courses. So starting with level 3, we have the general learning course. At level 4, we have employment skills. Our greatest provision really is at QQI level 5. So we have animal care assistant, then we have animation and applied science, and I suppose you can see there they're highlighted, meaning there are places there. We have the art, craft and design course. It is often referred to as the portfolio preparation course because students would use that to prepare their portfolio for art college. We have the beauty therapy, the business studies, then again the highlighted courses. So again, just emphasizing there are places here: carpentry and construction studies. I actually can't see the rest of that. I'm just going to bear with me 1 minute. So I think it's on to the next slide. Journalism. So again, there's a lot of places available on the Clash campus. Journalism, legal administration, multimedia with graphic design, music performance, music technology, the office administration. So that's the level 5 office administration. The Killarney campus also has an office administration course, and there are places available there. Personal training and nutrition, the physiotherapy assistant studies course, pre-Garda studies, pre-teaching. The pre-teaching and education studies. So on to the next slide, we have the pre-university law. So then again, places available in the professional cookery, the software development, and the special needs assistant or personal assistant course. That's the level 5 one. The sports and PE pre-teaching, sports exercise and coaching, and tattoo artistry. So at level 6, we have some courses, and just to emphasize, the requirement to do a level 6 course is that you would have a level 5 or higher. Okay, so we have the advanced early childhood care and education, the office management course. I think we have another course there, but I'm not able to see it on my screen. Okay, then on to the Denny Street campus. The Denny Street campus of Kerry College is located in the centre of Tralee Town. It hosts the Healthcare and Social Studies courses. At level 6, we have the Advanced Social Studies course. And then at level 5, Applied Social Studies, Healthcare Support, Nursing Studies with maternity care skills, and pre-emergency care studies. And there are some places on each of those courses in Denny Street. So that concludes the suite of courses on offer for the current academic year 2021-2022 in both the Clash and Denny Street campuses of Kerry College. Both campuses do still have places available for learners. We do welcome new applicants. Classes are commencing on Monday, but registration will continue into next week. So thank you. And I hand you back to John.
Thanks, Joanne. That was really, really good overview. A couple of questions just coming in here. There's one question about the one-to-one sessions tomorrow. It's a general question. We will get the link posted in the chat window there of Zoom this evening. So you click into the chat button, and we'll get Chris to post the link there to the sign-up form. It's quite easy. You've got to fill in your name, first name, last name, email address, and we will contact you then tomorrow about getting a one-to-one session. So that's the first one. And the second one there, I guess, is, Joanne, you might be able to answer this for us. A person that doesn't have very good IT skills, and they're concerned now that, everything education and training wise today is quite IT focused and their skills aren't great. And they're wondering, what are their options?
I suppose, first of all, maybe, make a call because, I suppose make a call and see, because you might have your IT skills might be sufficient. Okay, not to make the decision until you've spoken to somebody. I think we've all had to come on in leaps and bounds with our IT skills. at the moment, the courses, you know, there is a plan to have 1 day of remote learning on courses. So there would be a requirement of some IT skills. But rather than that, making that judgment yourself, I think make contact with the college and we'll have a conversation with you.
Okay, that's really good advice. And I suppose there's the general learning option as well, isn't there, Joanne, at level 3 and 4?
Yeah,
If people at that point then felt, look, I'm not able for this right now, but if next year I want to go to a level 5, we could do the level 4 this year to prepare for that. Okay, we have just another question as well here, and I think this may be something that maybe Stephen can come in on. It's about work experience. So the question is, will work experience really happen this year due to the COVID restrictions? I guess we're about a 5 or 6 weeks off from the restrictions being lifted, or at least relaxed. And some people are wondering, what is the situation with work experience? Because work experience is a key part of all of our programs and very valuable as well. So maybe Stephen, you could come in on that for us.
Yeah, thanks, John. I suppose the government advice, I suppose, will be changing on October the 22nd towards a more greater opening of society and kind of a relaxing of restrictions fully. And I suppose we are guided by what the Department of Further and Higher Education tells us and public health. But we would be optimistic that that work experience will be an integral part of most courses for this academic year, especially our courses for employment. And it is important for students, you know, and learners to get in a kind of an opportunity to view what their chosen career or area is like. So we're very anxious to facilitate that this year.
Okay, that's really good, Stephen. Thanks for that. So now we'll move to our first graduate story. And it's a really good example of a person who might want to change or pivot in terms of what they're doing after coming out of a further education and training or a third level program. Sometimes you might reach a point in your work life or your studies where you think, I'm not 100% sure I'm in love with what I'm doing, and you might need a rethink. So I'd like to introduce you to Aisling O'Neill. We spoke with Aisling some time ago. So this is a pre-recorded segment, which was also done by me, but it was done a number of months ago. Aisling already had a level 8 degree qualification when she applied for Kerry College, and she really wanted to branch out into the science area. And as it happens for her, it was something that was really, really possible. So I'm going to play you the clip now, and Aisling will tell you a little bit more about her story. So we'll just start the clip now.
So I previously graduated from law QQI level 8 degree in UCC. So after graduating, I realized that a career in the world of law just wasn't for me. Unfortunately, a bit late to realize, but anyway. So I decided I was going to start again and go back to college and do something completely different. So I'd always had an interest in science, and when I read about the applied science course at Kerry College, it just seemed perfect for me, really, because it allowed me to gain just 1 year experience of studying science without having to first commit to a 3 or 4 year long degree. And I guess this year has been just so beneficial to me. I've had such a positive experience at Kerry College. I've gained a good foundation level knowledge of 3 of the main sciences, namely chemistry, biology, and physics. And also I've gotten the opportunity to work in the lab at Kerry College, which is of course very useful if you're going studying science. So not only all of that, but I also gained the assurance and confidence I suppose I needed really to now pursue a third level degree in food science. So yeah, it's just been a very positive experience overall, and I know that the skills and knowledge I gained this year will not only stand me in this next course, but also in my future career.
That's really good to hear, and you're putting it so very well. You're a brilliant ambassador for us, Aisling.
Thank you.
Tell me, you've mentioned. No, genuine you are. We love meeting students that come through our programs and stuff. And we're terribly proud of everybody that comes through all of our programs. You mentioned the food science route. Tell me about that. So that's your next step, is it?
Well, hopefully, anyways. Yeah. So I suppose I always had an interest in science, but I was always veering more towards the biology and nutrition side of things. So I think food science just sparked my interest. I was reading about different courses that I wanted to pursue, and in the applied science course we studied nutrition. So I just seemed to have a natural flair towards that side of it, and biology of course as well. So food science just seemed to be a good, I guess, not compromise, but you know, a good way to get both the biology side and a bit of chemistry, of course, as well, and the nutrition side, so that if I wanted to maybe go on further to do a master's or something, I'd have the choice of going more into the lab sort of setting in food science or the nutrition or dietetics side.
That's absolutely brilliant. Tell me, what would you say to people that were in your position a year ago? So, sometimes, I don't know what it is, I suppose I went to college, very briefly, not about me at all tonight, but I went to college, did a degree and a master's, and then ended up doing nothing like it afterwards. So, I remember on my wedding day, my best man lambasted me for 20 minutes in front of my parents and everybody there saying, well done to Mr. and Mrs. Hurley for spending countless amounts of money on John's education, for him to, which was, by the way, in hotel management and hospitality, for him to go off then and work in radio, where he has no qualifications. So everybody was skitting at me. But like, there is that thing, isn't there, where a lot of people go off and they do the 4-year degree like I did, and then decide at the end of it, crikey, like for whatever reason, I just can't see myself doing this, right? And sometimes you can think, I don't want to put, if you're at home, I don't want to put parents or myself through the financial strain of doing it again. I don't want to go off and do something wildly different. People will think that I'm crazy or that I'm not together. But of course, all of that is silly, isn't it, really? So what advice would you give to people that have a previous qualification, maybe at, level 6 or 7 or 8, and maybe 2 qualifications, and they're saying to themselves, okay, I think I need to change tack. What would you say to them?
I guess don't be afraid of going for what you want. I know myself, when I graduated in 2019, and I kind of took a year then to try and figure out what I wanted to do. I was like, am I being silly wanting to go back to college and do something completely different after already having spent 3 years getting this degree? But at the end of the day, if it's 3 or 4 years to get the job that you want, an extra 3 or 4 years than maybe the other 3 or 4 years that you might have spent doing something else, isn't it worth that, rather than going into a job that you're not really passionate about, to think 20 or 30 years down the line, why am I putting myself through this? Why did I put myself through this for all these years when I know I don't have the passion or the drive for it? I guess I kind of just talked to myself and I was like, you know what, it's better off, I'm better deciding now that I don't want to do it, rather than regret it years down the line, having wasted so much time and draining myself doing something I don't enjoy, So I guess just go for what you want and don't be afraid. And I know people have this like misconception that they have to decide what they want to do straight away. And I mean, when you're 17 or 18 doing your leaving cert, how do you know what you really want to do when you haven't gone out there and tried other things? Because the chances are you won't have worked in anything, or if you have, it will be something very general, not specialized. So you don't know what you want until you try. And I guess try and try again. If you fail better, and you'll get there in the end.
Okay, so that was really, really good piece that we recorded a couple of months ago there with Aisling O'Neill, who is a graduate of applied science, and there's a whole load of layers there, a lot to unpack in that story. She's so honest about her journey, and also really good end message there about trying hard and being okay with the fact that something doesn't work out the first time, which is really great to hear. And lots of people need to hear that message, particularly around the time of leaving cert, where everything seems incredibly focused towards going to third level or doing really well or achieving and acing results. Just, there's a lot of pressure on people. So like, there's always other ways, there's always other routes, and we'll hear more about that when we speak with Anne later on in this session. Next, we'll go to Elaine O'Connor, Deputy Principal at Listowel Campus. Elaine is going to give us an overview now of the programs available at Listowel. Elaine, how are you?
Hi, John. So my name is Elaine O'Connor, as John said, and I'm speaking to you from Kerry College of Further Education, Listowel Campus. So Listowel Campus is located just a short walk up on Upper Church Street in Listowel. We are a key further education centre for North Kerry, and we offer a range of full-time courses for progression, employment, and also pathway courses. Our main aim here in Listowel Campus, as with all Kerry College campus, is to ensure that all our students have a very positive learning experience and that they gain their qualification at the end of the year. Okay, so I'll just wait for the presentation to come up so that I can tell you the list of courses that we offer here in the Listowel campus. So also in Listowel campus, I would say don't ever let it be, and as with all Kerry College campuses, don't let it be off-putting if you're unsure about, say, putting together the assignments or anything like that, because all campuses offer learning and assignment support, and we also offer IT and ICT support as well to all our students. So we'll just wait there for the presentation. Yeah, so in Listowel campus, we offer animal care assistant, and as you can see, we have a few courses here highlighted. So there still is places available on these courses. So we have applied social studies, early childhood care and education, general learning level 3. This is one of our pathway courses. Our pathway courses are excellent for anyone who's been out of education for a very long time, or if they don't have very good ICT skills and they want to upskill. It is really a preparation course for those of you who want to progress to level 5 courses. We also offer healthcare support. And if we could just have the next slide there. So if we could just have the next slide there. So we also offer applied social studies, nursing studies, photography, pre-university arts. We also offer a childcare level 5 course, and this is a new course this year, and it's very popular, and it's really preparing students for the childcare industry. We also have hairdressing, medical administration, office administration, and special needs awareness and assisting. And we also offer another pathway course there, as you can see at the top. It's information and communication technology. And again, that is a great course to prepare students for progressing to level 5. If anyone wants any further questions about any of our courses, in particular the pathway courses, we would ask you to contact us here in Listowel campus. And as you can see, our phone number is there, which is 068 21023. So I'll just pass you back to John.
Thanks a million, Elaine, for that overview, and apologies about the tech issues that we had there about the sharing. It's just shows to people that we're live. We're live at the minute. Tell me, Elaine, about courses in Listowel that may be already oversubscribed or fully booked. Should people still apply?
People should still apply, because you could be on a reserve list. So, you'll always get people who will apply for courses, and then when they do them, they might decide that it mightn't be suitable for them, or circumstances might prevent them from continuing on in the course. So I would always say that everybody should apply for whatever course area they're interested in, and then they'll be on the reserve list. As well as that, if you do apply for a course with Kerry College Listowel campus, and you decide, say, that when you start the course and you get the details on it that it's not for you, and you'd actually prefer to be on another course within the campus, we can arrange that as well.
It's really good. It's one of the things that we always hear about the Listowel campus, is that the staff there are so accommodating, they're so helpful, yes, and nothing's a problem. So it's despite the fact that we mentioned big numbers earlier on, thousands of learners coming through Kerry College, I think one of the things we're proud of is that every campus feels kind of small and intimate and homely. And sometimes you go to very large colleges and universities and it can be a big step up. So it's a really nice middle ground there between schooling.
And the support is never offered just solely in the classroom. Students are supported outside their classroom as well.
No, that's great, Elaine, and thank you for your input tonight. That's great. Now for a second graduate story. This is a gentleman, Paudie Walsh, who was on our IT support technician program at Monavalley, which trains people to get on the IT support technician ladder, or you can go all the way up. You can focus in different areas like cybersecurity and all sorts of stuff. But it's often said that the best journeys never happen in straight lines, and sometimes things can happen that can floor you, or they can throw you off course, or make you reassess what you're doing in your working life or career. And I think a lot of people over the last 12, 18 months have had that situation themselves with COVID-19 and, enforced lockdowns and restrictions where they had a bit more time in their hands and they wanted to just reassess things. And Paudie Walsh, as you know, as was a graduate of this IT support program, was doing something a little bit different when the pandemic hit. He wasn't, he was working, but he was also involved in the entertainment business. And he'll pick it up here now, telling you a little bit about his time after college and what he was doing at around the time that the lockdown came in last year.
I was in UL from 2011 to 2015, and I decided when I came out that I would go in a completely different direction. I was playing music. I was actually DJing all over the country 4 or 5 nights a week and loving it. But obviously then the pandemic and everything that followed hit in March. And I always had an interest in IT. I always had a draw for it. I always had kind of a natural, we call it intuition or just flair for it. So I was looking in, I suppose, June or July for something to upskill in because I had the IT background and everything like that. I just wanted to maybe fill in the 4 or 5 years that I'd missed out. And I came across the course, and I remember distinctly having a phone call with yourself one afternoon, and sitting down with yourself and Joe the following week, and then less than 10 months later I started a job last Tuesday. I'm a week in a job today. I'm based in Limerick, living in Limerick, and I'm working in County Clare, just about 30 minutes over the road, with a really big Irish-based healthcare company. So it's been a crazy 10 months since we sat across from each other like this. Last August it was.
That's brilliant. You know what? These are the stories we love to hear. And listen, can I just say congratulations and well done?
Thank you very much. Much
You
appreciated.
were unsure about it at the time we had discussed it, and I think that's something that I think a lot of people can relate to. That before you make any decision, either whether you're making a decision yourself, Paudie, or you're forced to make the decision, there's always risk attached in there, and you're thinking,
absolutely,
if I make the wrong call here, am I going to go down a road that I don't want to go down? So I suppose one of the big things with Kerry College is the courses are all relatively short. They're all skills focused, and they get you to the next level pretty quickly. Can I ask you what your experience of the course was?
I had a really, really positive experience in Kerry. You hit the nail on the head there. I was concerned. I had a lot of questions which you duly answered for me. Much appreciated. I had a lot of kind of avenues that I was exploring and things like that. And I guess what drew me to Kerry and what my experience ended up being was that it takes you from whatever level you're at. There was 15 of us in my group over the last 10 months, all at different skill sets. Some had never done IT before, some had the software development and had worked in industry. But what really I took from the course was the practicality side of things. Having done the college route, it's very theory focused. You're talking a lot about what you're going to do, but you never actually physically do it. And in fairness to Joe, the way the course was laid out, you're talking about it in the morning and you're actually physically hands-on doing it in the evening. So my experience from that point of view, it got me really ready for the job, because I literally, finished in Kerry on a Friday and I was in Clare on the Tuesday. So I didn't have that much time, but in the last week, I've seen so much of things that are very familiar from the last 8 months. So it's been fantastic. And I would say to anybody, pick up the phone. John, you'll hate me, but pick up the phone to John, send him in your concerns, ask him all the questions, and Joe as well was fantastic with his time. But no, fantastic. And as I said, it takes everybody from whatever level you're at, whether you're doing it years or whether you're relatively new in the IT space. If you have an interest in it, if you're that person that someone rings to fix the laptop or get the skybox going or whatever the thing is, it's definitely well worth looking into the IT support.
Well, thanks so much. And I was wondering, you preempted the last question about what message you'd have for people, and that's it. Just pick up the phone and give us a ring, and don't be shy about it. We deal with this every day. Can I ask you just a fun question before we finish up?
Sure.
What is the number one thing you would say to every?
Hey, but that is that is quite a lot of time. You know, you're looking at something, and you might be an hour before you get to it, and it might just have resolved itself. I definitely, if I was messing with anything, and like I'm working on, you know, corporate systems now and big data kind of servers, definitely don't do anything that you can't undo. Or if you do change something, just remember what you've actually pressed, or take a picture or something like that. But definitely, and look, the other side of the course is Joe has it well set up that you get your environments, you know, your computers set up, but you can mess around. You're not physically working on a laptop that's, you know, going to break. You can just delete it and start again. And definitely, if you are inclined that way at home, you know, mess around, have a bit of fun, press a few buttons, see what happens. But if someone rings you and there's a problem, don't.
That's very helpful.
Turn it off and turn it back on again.
I do not. Okay, that's a little glitch there at the end. I think I was asking him a question about if something. What is the number one, you know, most common question he gets asked to do, and how do you solve it? And his answer at the time, I remember, and it's not part of that now because it glitched, was just turn it off and turn it back on again, which is very reassuring. And then if it still doesn't work, plug it out, and then plug it back in again, and then turn it back on. So it's nice to know that these highly trained guys are operating on a basic level as well in terms of the way that they troubleshoot. That's Paudie Walsh, they're a graduate of our IT support technician program. And Paudie's now working in Ennis and County Clare as an IT support technician with TTM Healthcare, who are a really big Irish healthcare company. Okay, next we'll have a chat with Ioseph Nestor, and Ioseph is the assistant manager at the Monavalley campus. I work with Ioseph myself every day, and Ioseph is going to tell us a little bit more about the Monavalley campus and the Killorglin campus.
John, thanks very much. It doesn't feel like that long since I saw you, but anyway, you know, it's nice to see you again, obviously.
Likewise.
Look, it's great. It's great to be here this evening. It's great to be joined with colleagues. And I suppose the real big thing is it's great to be in a position finally where we're getting back to some, hopefully it feels like some sense of normality, learners start to come back on campus and so on. So I suppose like a lot of information has been given there this evening already, you know, regarding courses that are available in some of the campuses. And I suppose one of the key messages like that I'd like to get across is that, you know, a lot of these courses are starting, you know, now and in the next few weeks. But I suppose like Kerry College operates on the basis of starting courses right throughout the year. And so what I've taken, I suppose, is just a look at the courses that are starting in the Monavalley and Killorglin campuses over the next couple of months. So I suppose I don't have any presentation or something, but I'm like all I can do is tell you to log on to Kerry College website. You see all the course details there. But just to give you a flavour of what's starting, I mean, we have courses right across any number of sectors over the next few months. One in particular that's starting is our 2D and 3D CAD. That course introduces people to, as it says on the tin, 2 and 3D CAD, but also laser cutting, 3D printing, and it really opens up doors into, I suppose, engineering design and manufacturing design. And it's a great course to get in if that's an area that you're interested in. A new course that we launched in the last 12 months is a civils for fibre course. That's starting, and that specialises in the civils work that's related to fibre installation. So it concentrates again on things like obviously groundwork skills, curb laying, laying in ducts to allow fibre rollout and so on across the country. And there's massive demand out there at the moment for jobs in that area with the rollout of the National Broadband Scheme. We also have 2 courses starting in our digital media centre. So we have digital media production, which I suppose, as the name suggests, focuses on photography, design, video production, and so on. And also we have journalism and radio production starting as well. So those 2 courses are again, like they're always really popular courses. There's always a lot of demand for them. They're really interesting. Any of our digital courses are very much project based. So you get to work on real life projects for clients that have come in and you know they have different projects that they want to work on. So examples of those and things, you know, can be anything from, you know, photography to actually podcasts and so on that you're preparing for going out on radio. One of our most interesting courses, I suppose, and one that always attracts a lot of attention is our wind turbine maintenance course. That starts in November. This is a conversion course, so it's suitable for people that have previously qualified in electrical field, mechanical field, or automotive. So anyone that's done an apprenticeship can apply for this, or if you have an engineering degree or level 6, 7, or 8 in engineering qualification, this is a course that's suitable for you. Also, another one is again in that I suppose transmission area is our overhead lines course, and again this is something that has run successfully for the last few years, and it's always popular. And again this year it's going to be there's a lot of applications in there for it, but that starts in November. So I mean, again, the applications are still open for that. Into a different field, then we have our diploma in software development that has run again over the last number of years. Really popular course, really interesting course, and that's a full stack software development program. So again, applications are open for that, and all these courses, as I said, are up on Kerry College website. Just to introduce something new as well, we're launching at the moment. We're launching 2 new apprenticeships. So they're in the area of IT. So we currently run 8 apprenticeships in Kerry College, and this will be expanding to 11 over the coming months and into next year. In Kerry overall at the moment, there's 500 apprentices employed by over 200 employers. And the 2 new apprenticeships that we're launching are in conjunction with a company called FIT, which is Fast Track to IT. And the areas that they focus on are cybersecurity and software development. Both of these apprenticeships are level 6 QQI qualifications. They're 2 years in duration, and FIT have been working tirelessly over the last number of years to build up I suppose a database and a bank of employers that take on apprentices in these areas. So we've been collaborating with I suppose organizations like Kerry SciTech and tech companies in Kerry, and obviously in the region as a whole, and the enrollments are open at the moment for these 2 apprenticeships. Again, further details can be found on kerrycollege.ie, or also on apprenticeship.ie website. Will give you information on all of the apprenticeships in Ireland. So in total in Ireland, there's over 50 apprenticeships, and as I said, 8 of them are currently running in Kerry College, and that will be expanding to 11 over the coming months. I suppose just a very quick word. We also, as part from the full-time courses and the apprenticeships that I've mentioned, we also run a number of part-time courses. These run in evenings. Sometimes it can be 1 day a week, and they're open as well at the moment for applications. Again, these are all up on our website. You can see the details of any of those, but these look at areas as diverse as childcare to healthcare to ICT. We're also run things like train the trainer, barista courses, and a couple of interesting ones, I suppose, that will be launching in the next couple of months. We have ethical hacking, which is a new course offering that's going to be offered from January 2022. And also we're expanding the range of courses that we're offering in the culinary area. So we currently offer a number of courses, short upskilling courses for people that are in employment in, say, hospitality settings, and people that maybe are looking at getting into employment. So things like culinary techniques, breakfast chef, and also things like pastry baking and dessert. So that's, I suppose, gives you a flavour of the range of courses that are available in Kerry College Monavalley campus. That's it. I'll hand you back to John. Thanks very much, John.
Thanks, Ioseph. A question in here about part-time courses and evening courses. Are they going to start up this year? They're going to start up in the next couple of months. Monavalley and indeed all the campuses at Kerry College would have a good track record in delivering part-time and part-time training. So I suppose with evening courses in particular, I know it's not what we're doing this evening per se, but what are the plans for those?
Well, at the moment, John, we have evening courses starting up in September now. Obviously, again, given the current restrictions that we're still under, and conscious of the fact that we're in this phase, I suppose, of easing of restrictions. We have a number of courses that are starting, and they'll be starting online, predominantly online. So some of them will have a blended delivery model, but the majority of those will be delivered online. And then hopefully from January 2022 onwards, we'll be in a position to bring back on-site evening courses, all going well.
Okay, that's great. Ioseph, Nestor, thank you so much. Ioseph is Assistant Manager at the Monavalley campus in Tralee. Now, we're going to tweak our running order just ever so slightly. We might just leave the Danielle Kelleher story until a little bit later on, and we will jump straight, if that's possible, to our colleague Niamh Donovan. And Niamh is an admissions officer and works in the admissions office in Tralee, and is having a busy week doing all these registrations of the new students this week and new learners. Niamh is going to talk to us a little bit about the how to apply piece. So how does that work, and also some of the fees and funding that candidates and applicants to Kerry College can avail of. So Niamh, good evening, and I'll hand over to you.
Evening, John, thank you. I don't know if you have that presentation there, if you prefer me to share the screen on my end for this side of it. Perfect. So thanks to Elaine and to Joanne and also to Ioseph there for just talking through the course offerings for the Listowel, for the Clash and for the Monavalley and Killorglin campuses. So if you have heard about any courses there that you might be interested in, I'll talk you through the various different ways to apply for them. First of all, though, I'm going to talk you through the ways that you can fund yourself while you are on the courses. So there's 4 main streams of funding that you can avail of for Kerry College courses. So a SUSI grant is one that a lot of people around this time of year, particularly if you've come from Leaving Cert, will be familiar with. So we have a couple of, I suppose, a massive raft of courses that are SUSI approved. You can click on a link on our website where you can see the list of SUSI approved courses. There's a really great eligibility reckoner there on the SUSI website where you can find out whether you are eligible for a SUSI grant or not. Applications normally open in April. I think people assume that they close around then as well, but they absolutely don't. So SUSI is still open for applications. So don't think that you've left it too late to apply for your SUSI grant. Absolutely, you could move on to that if that's possible for you. The next option that you could use is a training allowance. So training allowances typically are just for people who are already on a qualifying social welfare payment. So when I say qualifying social welfare payment, I mean things like a job seeker's allowance or a job seeker's benefit, something like that. And we will take over that payment then while you are on campus with us. A couple of differences between a social welfare payment and a training allowance. Number 1, we pay it into your bank account every week. Number 2, there is some flexibility to be able to work while you're on a training allowance as well. So we will pay a training allowance into your account, as I said, every week. It will remain unchanged. And if you're free to pick up some part-time work in the evening times or the weekends as well, if possible. So a lot of the time, I know Stephen mentioned work experience earlier on. Sometimes a lot of our applicants can manage to pick up some part-time work through work experience part-time over the weekends. So if you're on a training allowance, there's flexibility to be able to work there as well without your training allowance being affected. And John, we have third one. So back to education allowance. A lot of people may not be familiar with this if you're coming from second level, if you're coming directly from Leaving Cert, and it may not necessarily be applicable if you are coming straight from Leaving Cert, because generally you need to be over 21 and in receipt of a qualifying social welfare payment. And so yeah, if you are coming straight from Leaving Cert, potentially back to education allowance may not be applicable for yourselves. The other option is no payment at all. A lot of our students will opt for this as well. They'll choose to fund themselves through part-time work, maybe in the evening times or weekends. The majority of our courses are free. The ones that aren't free are our courses for progression. They hold an €130 acceptance fee to be able to formally accept a place on that course. So no payment is a really big option for the majority of our learners as well, as I said, because our courses for employment are all free and our courses for progression just hold that €130 acceptance fee. So something to note as well in the times that we're in that never applied in the years before the pandemic hit. A couple of our applicants this year we've met are on the pandemic unemployment payment, or the PUP payment that people sometimes call it. Unfortunately, if you are on that payment, you will need to probably transition away from that and maybe change it to something else. I think there's probably something in the agreement that you've made with social welfare or revenue there that kind of rules out being on a part-time education or training course while you're on that pandemic payment. So if that is the case for you, and if that does apply, just make sure to get that switched over to one of the payments that we can take over, and we'll be able to pay you a training allowance for that then. So then if you do see a course that you like, and if you have sorted out kind of, I suppose, a payment, be it a training allowance, a SUSI grant, a back to education allowance, or no payment at all, you can pop onto our website and select the course category. So typically you'll see two bands of courses if you're not going down the apprenticeship route, and if you're looking typically for an employment or progression course. So a course for employment that we offer gives you job ready skills and prepares you to move kind of into the world of work more or less straight away once you finish our course. You'd click on the link for courses for employment. If progression is what you're interested in, and if you're interested on kind of gaining access onto third level college or university, a course for progression is the one for you. So I'm going to talk you through an example of one of our courses for employment here. So our animal care assistant we offer in the Listowel and the Clash Road campus. So it's an extremely popular course at the moment. I believe it's actually full in both campuses currently. However, like Elaine said, please still apply. We keep a large wait list in place for courses, and inevitably, like people have said, people do drop off in those first couple of weeks, that they find that maybe financial situations change, or they find the transition back to college, university may be a little bit too tough. And inevitably in those first couple of weeks, some people may drop off. So that's where the waitlist comes into place, and where it's really important that we have those applications still coming in to be able to fill those places that do become available. So once you see the course that you're interested in, you'll be able to see a lot of information about it there on the right-hand side. So this particular course has no fees because it's a course for employment. It's a QQI level 5, 37 weeks in duration. The start date there is the 13th of September. And actually that was probably taken a couple of weeks ago, before the start date changed. That particular course is starting next Monday on the 20th. And once you've read that, and once you find out about the course, you're clicking apply now. So once you click apply now, you'll be redirected to fetch courses. The majority of our learners, we find, do have a fetch account. But if you don't have a fetch account, you'll be clicking register up the top right. If you do have a fetch account, you'll just be signing in by using your username and your password. So to register for your fetch account, you'll either use an email address or a phone number. It's important to choose one or the other and to remember which one you've chosen. Apart from inquiries about courses, the majority of our queries in the admissions office are about fetch account usernames. So just make sure to remember what username you've chosen for yourself, either your email address or your phone number. So once you choose either one of those, you'll be asked to to confirm the email address or the phone number is yours. So you can do that by entering in the confirmation code and confirming that. So you can use this account now to apply for courses, and that account will be live to apply for any courses in further education and training, be they evening courses, courses for employment, progression, hobby courses, community ed courses. So once you send in your application to us, we'll get a notification in the admissions office straight away. We'll then just be asking you to complete a couple bits more information for us. So your first name, your address, bits and pieces of information so that we can get in contact with you about your application. So another call that we get quite a lot is, I filled in all my information and I can't send in my application. Why? It's because there's a data acknowledgement statement down the end that sometimes people forget to click into. So just don't forget to click into it and accept that data acknowledgement statement. That will enable you to click the green apply now button and send in your application. So once all that is done, as I said, the green apply now button and your application comes straight through to us there in the admissions office. So what's next? As I said, we'll get a notification that you've applied for the course. If it is a course for employment or a certain course for progression that we need to, that's quite oversubscribed or that has a specialist entry criteria, we'll invite you for an admissions interview. In the admissions interview, we generally try to chat about your suitability for the particular course. If it's a progressional course, we'll be trying to ascertain if your progression routes are accurate, I suppose. For example, if someone wants to apply for pre-teaching, we'll be trying to find out whether if they want to go for primary school teaching, if they have their honours Irish or if they have an Irish qualification there, or what their plan is around that. So it's a chat, takes no more than about 15 or 20 minutes, and that happens there on Zoom. So after that, if you are offered a place on the course for the employment courses, as I mentioned, there's no charge for the employment courses. For the courses for progression, there is an €130 acceptance fee payment. So you'll be invited to pay that if you are successful after your interview, and then you're invited to what we're doing all this week long, which is registration. So we also have a Kerry College admissions office. It's where myself and my colleagues work at the moment. You can call us anytime in the admissions office. We're open there 9 until 5:30, Monday to Friday. And we have admissions clinics running every week. So if there's a course that you're maybe not too sure about, if there's a couple of courses maybe that you're interested in, but you're not quite sure which one is for you, give us a call in the admissions office there on 066 71 49696, or send us an email at info@kerrycollege.ie, and we'd be happy to chat to you about your next steps.
Very good, Niamh. Thank you so much for that. And you have a busy week this week with registrations. Can I just ask?
Meet everyone that we've been talking to for the last couple of months. It's lovely to sit down and finally get to see them face to face. It's been through Zoom and over emails and on the phone for the last 5 or 6 months. It's lovely to actually put a face to the name and to the application.
Yeah, it's great. It is lovely. All right. Can I ask you a question before you leave there? There is just a question here about the government levy, if you could clarify it. There is obviously no tuition fees for Kerry College, but there is an acceptance registration fee of €130, which is paid on acceptance of a course place when you're offered to accept and guarantee that place. But tell us a little bit about the €200 levy, which will show up on their Fetch account when they log in, won't it? You might just, there's a bit of confusion maybe around that, if you wouldn't mind explaining it to us.
And I suppose a lot of the people who were registering this week are bringing this up as well, and I can see that there's some chats going on there about it too. So the €200 government levy is attached to all of our courses for progression. So our courses for employment aren't subject to the government levy. It's a fee that Kerry College collect on behalf of the government. And as I said, it's applied to all the courses for progression. The majority of people are exempt from paying this fee. If you're going to be in receipt of a SUSI grant, if you have a medical card, if you're on a back to education allowance or a training allowance, you won't have to pay this fee. So I suppose maybe 20% of our learners will actually be eligible to pay this fee. We don't charge it right at the start of the year. We normally let people settle in first, have a couple of months with us, make sure that they're happy, that their course is for them, and that they're going to be staying with us. So typically we don't charge this fee until maybe November, December time.
Okay, that's really good to get clarification on that. Thank you so much, Niamh Donovan, who's an admissions officer at our admissions office in 7 Denny Street, Tralee. Thanks for that, Niamh. Now, finally, we'll cross back to Clash Road, and we'll have a conversation, or we'll hear from Anne Doyle, and Anne is a career guidance professional there, about the sort of things people should be thinking about now as they make up their mind. So good evening, Anne.
Oh, good evening. Good evening, John. Can you hear me there?
I can. A little bit glitchy to start, but we definitely have you there now. We can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, we all is good in Clash Road, and as Neill said, it's great to be back and to be, to be with students and seeing people. So I'm just going to share a screen here with you and just talk through some of the I suppose the educational aspects of what we're doing. Can you see my screen there? So just to say that all of our courses fall to the level 5 and level 6 area in Clash Road. And we've now added some introductory courses, level 3 and 4 also. So in terms of progressing to 3rd level, we're looking at the level 5 and level 6 courses there. Our courses have lots of different options. We have quite a number of courses that lead directly to employment. We have a number of courses, actually most of our courses in Clash Road, Denny Street and Listowel campus give access to 3rd level options. And that was never as important as it is this year, when we saw massive grade inflation in the Leaving Cert, and 50% of all CAO applicants did not get their first choice. So the further education option has never been more important to students. And we also have, as we already talked through, our apprenticeship options. So why Kerry College? So it's an absolutely brilliant opportunity to explore an area of study in a year, rather than committing to a 4-year program in 3rd level, especially when students don't get their first choice. If they're offered, I know students this year who've contacted me who were offered their 4th and 5th choices. And so it's, I think, a much better investment to spend a year trying something out to see, is this really for me? And the further education option exposes students to teachers who are from industry and who know about the subject matter, from a different angle to maybe the academics that they knew in schools. And as you mentioned, we have the 4 different campuses. All of the photographs that I'm showing you, by the way, they are all our own students. And you can see here in the hospitality, we cannot provide enough chefs or enough hospitality students. But many of our students, our courses are really practical, and people go straight to work with their level 5. And an example of some of the courses here would be, childcare and the media studies and so on. What's unique about these courses is that they're very practical. They are skills led. So it's all about what you can do. That's why employers love our graduates. Every single program has integrated work practice, and the programs last from anything from 20 weeks to 52 weeks. And all of the courses in this category are full-time. And you can see that 30% of the training is on the job. I mean, you know, what a better way to learn for most people. And we have huge success in terms of work placement. You see there an image of our beauty therapist. One of our beauty therapists today actually won quite a prestigious award in body art, of all things. So our students come out with high level skills and so work ready. And some of the courses there that are really practical, anything from the technical, the IT technicians to you know, the carers, accounting technicians, admin, and so on. So many students are interested in doing a course for progression in terms of getting on to a third level course. How it works is that students get their results with us, and the points that they get, the results they get are converted to points which are recognised by CAO in terms of access to all of the universities in Ireland, the UK, and the EU. And there are thousands of courses in the EU through English. And every year we send graduates on to wonderful courses in physiotherapy and international law and international branding, wonderful opportunities. And they're a year older and more mature to avail of these courses. Many of our courses then at level 6 lead to advanced progression. That means that students can go directly into year 2 of degree courses. And again, look at the money that saves in terms of accommodation, in terms of fees. And those students, the feedback we get from the institutions is that they are highly skilled and they hold their own when they go on. So a really good option. These are some former students now who are well onto their way of, halfway through their degrees at this stage. So every course that we offer in our progression suite of courses, every course at level 5 for progression meets all of the requirements for the level 7 courses in MTU Kerry. Then for other courses in the MTUs at level 8 and for the universities, there will be particular criteria involved. So, for example, some universities some universities may look for a qualification in maths, for example, or particular modules to be covered. So it's crucial that you check the CAO website. But don't worry, I am on hand. There is a guidance person available in every campus to answer these questions for you, to make sure that you are going to meet, you know, the minimum requirements for your course. So in terms of how it works, all of the universities reserve a quota of places just for QQI applicants. So QQI applicants are competing with each other, not with leaving certs. So we had some very happy QQI applicants this year because they didn't get caught up in the leaving cert point race. We had students going on to do business in UL, commerce in UCC, with somebody got psychology in UCC. It was well over 500 points. We had people going on to PE in Cork, PE teaching. So lots of fabulous courses. Courses like nursing studies, they require specific qualifications. So for example, to qualify for a nursing access, you would have to do the nursing course and so on. So again, talk to the admissions team about what those requirements are. We've already spoken about the variety of apprenticeships. Just to know that apprenticeships are different to what they were when I was in leaving cert. Lots of apprenticeships now can lead to degrees. And they can lead to non-traditional, what we call new apprenticeships, such as the insurance practitioner one and the software development, as was already mentioned. Students come to Kerry College, they're not on their own. They will get support, as I mentioned, in terms of guidance and also learning support, to improve their academic writing, to know how to put an assignment together to meet deadlines. And we have support in terms of supporting our mature students also and our international students. We also offer QQI maths for students where that is a requirement. Student council course is a great way to develop soft skills, and it's a great one to have on the CV going forward. So again, just to conclude, that in Ireland, people might not know this, but it's a very important fact. Every year, 6,000 students who start first year do not progress on to second year. That's a lot of heartache, a lot of money down the tubes. And the reasons that they give for this is wrong course choice, financial reasons, being away from home, and so on. The further education and training graduates tend to be more successful at staying on, because generally they have a better sense of, being on the right course because they've already done the year. They're less likely to drop out. So thank you for your attention, and I hope that we'll see you at Kerry College, whether it's to do a course to progress to employment or to progress in your education, and we will be with you all the way. Thank you. Thank you, John.
Thanks, Anne, for that. And before we let you go, I have one question for you. And we'll just try to cherry pick some of the questions that are coming in. And it's really, I guess this is a tough one to answer, actually. If a person does a course for progression at Kerry College, does it guarantee they'll progress to third level?
That's a very good question, John. And it's one I get asked a fair amount. With CAO, there are no guarantees. No guarantees. There were people with maximum points this year that did not get into dentistry, for example. So there are no guarantees. So I can tell you that up until now, every single qualifying applicant got into arts in UCC or social science in UCC, but that might not be the case next year. So I am very honest with students. We want students to do well. Some courses like business in UL, you have a very, very good chance, like arts in any of the universities. Courses like nursing and psychology are very, very competitive. So there are, even if you get maximum marks, there will be a lot of people who will not get their course. So what I do is advise students to have a plan B and a plan C. Use your level 7 options, use the level 8 options. So there are no guarantees, but there are, talk to me and we will find a way and a route that will get you to where you want. It may not be straight road, but yes. So no guarantees.
Yeah, that's great, Anne. And I suppose we've all been reading the newspapers over the last week or so, where you have people with historically high achievements in terms of points this year, 600 pointers, the high pointers, not being able to get what they want. So having studied for 5 years and then, oh, I thought this is how it works. No, not this year. So yeah, so I guess people are asking for that reason as well. And thank you. And it's good to know that you're always available to assist our students at Kerry College with your advice and experience. So thank you. Okay, and I think that's where we're going to leave it for this evening. I'd like to thank all of our colleagues for their time and their inputs this evening. We are really focused, as you probably will hear from our presentations, on you, the learner, the applicant, the person that we talk to, the person that is looking at doing something in the education and training space, looking at progressing, looking at moving to employment, looking at apprenticeship. So what we're really saying is pick up the phone. It's a human thing. We like to talk to people. It's not all emails and instant messages and that, or even webinars, which are great to a point. We prefer to talk to people. So always reach out to our admissions office, info@kerrycollege.ie. You can call the office at 066 714 9696, or you can call any of the campuses as well. So don't be shy about it. Give us a ring. We're here to help. Before we finish, I'd like to just show you our little booking form that we will put up on social media afterwards. After this, the link is in chat. If you'd like to book a one-to-one session with any of our teams. So this link will be posted, as I say, on social media afterwards. We'll stick it on the description of the our YouTube channel, the Kerry College YouTube channel. We'll post this webinar presentation on there a little bit later on, and we'll put the link in here as well, so you can book a one-to-one session. We have staff available for this tomorrow. All you got to do is fill in your full name, your phone, and your email. They're the required fields. And then if you've got other, preferences in there as well, you can click those. You don't have to, though. Be full-time, part-time courses, a preferred campus, whatever that is, and any message as well that you want for us. So just use that form, and we have our staff on standby tomorrow to assist you with a short one-to-one session over the phone or over Zoom, because we believe it's always better to talk through things. So that's where we'll leave it for this evening. We really look forward to doing this with you tonight. We look forward to speaking to you shortly. Always remember to give us a call. Thank to everybody who joined us, and have a very good evening. Good night.